All right. This is the agenda for today. We want to start with a brief welcome to everybody and introductions. Um, if you all want to just briefly say who you are and what station are you from, that will be very nice. We'll have an idea of who is in the room. And I think we can do it relatively fast. After that, we're going to have some time to present our stations. We'll have 10 minutes per station and 5 minutes for questions from the audience. After each station has presented their work, we are going to be talking about the matching program and the different things that we have been doing through the matching program, the exchange visits that we've had to 2 of the 3 stations, and of course the projects that we have in terms of research, education, and communication. And we'll finalize today's cafe with a few more minutes for questions. Okay, let's start with brief introductions. If you guys just want to say your names and your station, that would be nice. Let's start with, and I'm maybe Steve.
Hello, my name's Steve. I'm calling from the Southwestern Research Station in Portal, Arizona.
Hi, Steve. Maggie?
Joanna, maybe you could stop presenting for 5 minutes so we actually see the people.
Sure.
And Joanna, Maggie wrote in the chat.
Okay.
She's Maggie McCartney, and she's from Blandy Experimental Farm at University of Virginia. She doesn't have a mic.
Yes. Yes, thank you. Okay, Philippe?
My name is Philippe Cohen, and I'm the retired executive director of Jasbridge Biological Preserve at Stanford University.
Paul?
Hi, my name is Paul Wetzel, and I am the manager of the McLeish Field Station in Western Massachusetts, United States.
Steve? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right.
Yeah, I'm a PhD student from Hasselt University, so the Fields Research Center.
Dustin?
Hi, Dustin Angel here from Archbold Biological Station. Went to my first OBFS conference this year, and I've participated in the station exchange program.
Sophia?
Hello, my name is Sofia Rodriguez. I am the Director of Academies for the Organization for Tropical Studies, OTS, and we have 2 field stations in Costa Rica and 1 in South Africa.
Sheena?
Hi, I'm Sheena Parsons. I'm the station manager at the University of Kansas Field Station, so Kansas, right in the middle of the United States.
Juliet?
And good afternoon and good evening, everyone. My name is Juliet Nichols. I'm the Associate Director of Central Michigan University's Biological Station on Beaver Island in the middle of Lake Michigan, United States. Hi, everyone.
Thank you, Juliet. Katie?
Hi, everyone. My name is Katie Lund, and I am the Youth Programs Coordinator at the Rocky Mountain Biological Field Station in Gothic, Colorado, which exciting that we are a recipient of this year's exchange program with the folks at GALT, and then we're also hosting this year's conference. So I'm looking forward to getting involved and seeing more of you in person this year.
Very happy. I will be meeting you in person in September. John?
John Taylor? Oh, no.
We hear you.
Oh, okay. John Taylor, I'm with the field station, and Environmental Education Center at Ball State University in Muncie, Indiana. Been a member about 20 years, but haven't been involved with a lot of the meetings.
Pablo Muñoz.
Hi, I'm Pablo Muñoz. I'm the education coordinator for the Organization for Tropical Studies. I work alongside Sophie as well. Good morning.
Brian.
Hi, I'm Brian Alford. I'm the Assistant Director of Stone Laboratory. We're part of Ohio State University on western part of Lake Erie, USA.
Thank you. Natasha.
Hi, I'm starting to wonder if I should be in this meeting. I am not part of a field station, but I am interested in field stations, and I got the email, so I said, let me go and see what this conversation is about. Because in the future, one of my hopes is to work as a field station. So I don't know if I should still be here at this
No,
point.
you should definitely be here.
Absolutely.
Okay. Because I was like, wait a minute, maybe I
No.
to the wrong email here.
No.
Okay. So hi everyone. My name is Natasha. I'm an avian ecologist, also a natural science illustrator, and I'm very interested in the future somehow working at a field station, just because I just really have a great appreciation for field stations because they do so much, not only for local communities, but for research. So that's one of my goals, and I'd love to learn from everyone here. So
Perfect.
Thank you. And you are in the right place.
okay,
Wait,
great.
Natasha, where are you located at?
Right now I'm in New York. I just finished working a position in Florida. So I was in the Florida Panhandle for a little bit. But I'm in New York right now and we'll be heading to Colorado for my next field season.
Thank you. Molly.
Good morning. My name is Molly. I work as the manager of the Thomas More University Field Station in Northern Kentucky. So this is also my first virtual cafe. So I'm just here to learn more about the matching program and see what everyone got up to this year.
Great. Brian. I think we have. I don't know if I've done Brian already. Brian Alford. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
I
okay.
went already.
Okay. Sorry. All right. I think I have covered everybody. If I haven't, please go ahead and introduce yourselves. I'm going to give you a few seconds. I think I have covered everybody except for, like, of course, the people from our 3 stations. Okay. I'm quickly then gonna ask people from the matching program stations that are presenting today to just like go ahead and introduce yourselves briefly in the room. I know that Gold, you guys are all together. I don't know. I think Natalie and her people are also all together. But let's start with Gold. Just names, maybe.
Hi, Martin Duval, the manager of services at Gold Nature Reserve. So I'm involved in the yellow program, matching program, since the beginning with Natalie and Joe and Fred, she's not here today.
I'm David. I'm the Associate Director of Gold Nature Reserve. I'm filling in for Fred. I'm going to do my best. And there's also a lot of crew here who all want to know about field stations. So, Nathalie?
I'm Nathalie. I'm the field station manager of the Hasselt research station in Belgium. And I have some of my colleagues with me who are mainly reputable PhD students. So this is
Hi, my name is Wim.
Siva you already heard because I guess you thought he was an external one. And next to Siva is, you can say it. So we have 3 PhD students at the moment with us. More about the field station later.
Thank you, Natalie. And now it's going to be my time. My people are going to speak in Spanish. So this is a good moment where you can use your interpretation icon and click English so that you can understand what they're saying. We have 2 computers. They are just like a meter away from me. So I'm going to let them I'm going to quickly introduce myself. As I said, I'm Joanna Reyes. I'm the director of the Alliance for a Sustainable Amazon, the organization that manages Finca Las Piedras Station in the southeastern Peruvian Amazon.
Good morning. My name is Carla Fiallos. I am from Honduras, but I work here with the Lepidoptera team in Finca Las Piedras in Peru.
Hola, buenos días a todos. Mi
Hello,
nombre es José.
everyone. My name is Jose, and
Soy naturalista aquí en Finca Las
I am a naturalist here in Finca Las Piedras.
Hola, me llamo Rosie.
My
Soy
name
de
is
Reino
Rosie.
Unido y
So
naturalista.
I am from the United Kingdom.
Buenos días,
Rosie.
soy Luis Montega.
And my name is
Soy
Fez
de Colombia
Montega.
y
I am
estoy
from
trabajando aquí en el
Colombia,
equipo de
and I am also working here with the Lepidoptera team.
Hi again. Volume. Sorry, we need to like switch volume on and off.
One moment,
So
we will be
we don't have
switching
problems.
channels to
All
avoid
right, thank you everybody.
any
Very
feedback.
excited to have all of you with us today. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we are going to have 10 minutes per station to present our work. And we are going to start with Natalie and her team. Natalie, the floor is all yours. I'm only going to say again, for those that wanna, I'm gonna say it in English and then in Spanish, but for those that wanna listen to this presentation in Spanish, please use the interpretation icon. Y para los que recién se unen y quieren escuchar esta
And for
presentación en
those of you
español,
who
únanse,
wish to
por favor,
listen in English,
denle clic al icono de
please
interpretación en la
select
parte
your
baja de
language.
su menú de Zoom y podrán escuchar la presentación en español. All right, Natalie, floor is all yours. Natalie, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? So we only have a
Yes.
couple of minutes. Only have a couple of minutes to present very briefly our little field station at in Belgium. If you can see actually the map of Belgium in the left corner, and there is a little green dot, which is the National Park Hoge Kempen, one of the few national parks in Belgium. And on the right corner, there is the location of the field research center. From now on, I'm going to say FRC. It's a bit easier to use for me in English. And I don't get this. Yeah. Okay, this is for the ones that haven't been here, most probably, how our small FRC looks like. We have one little building where we have offices, this room, and a field lab. And if you see the aerial picture, which went with the drone, then you see some field plots and a research infrastructure where we actually, if I have to say it in one sentence, investigate in a very controlled way what the effects of climate change are on biodiversity in the soil as well as above the soil. But we also then want to function to education outreach. So we do a lot of field excursions, students, but also activities for schools and groups. And because we are very small and we don't have the staff, we do it with rangers from the national park. So we educate them on the science we are working on, and we work with them and actually make modules so that they can explain, or even with interactive activities, bring it to a wider public. So that's the outreach in a nutshell. So we also want to be the platform for education and research from our university, but also other universities where we have some internships, bachelor's, master's, supervision, PhDs, and mainly in the national park or other natural surroundings in our province. For instance, we don't have masters ourselves when it comes to biology or chemistry, but formal bachelor students like Siba and like Imke, they want to do their masters with us, so I'm always very glad with that. Okay. We are also very proud that we don't only have within the European research infrastructure have this ecotron, so this infrastructure that I just announced, but that we are co-locating several of the infrastructure installations of different European programs. And one of them is, for instance, also ICOS, which is the integrated carbon observing system. Another one is LifeWatch, where we, and the guys that are with me are going to explain you more on that. It's where we have camera traps and soon biologgers for wildlife. And another one is the LTR. It's actually a spin-off of the LTR, like you also know, long-term ecological research. I always try to say what the FRC in general is interested in to investigate, and it's really to assess the impact of anthropogenic disturbance to biodiversity. And in this case, I'm not talking about any other is control, but on we're going in field ecology, and then we really want to do it with long-term wildlife monitoring. And here I really want to give the floor for a couple of minutes to the three students that I have, because they also will present their own research.
Hi everyone, my name is Wim. I'm a PhD student at Nathalie, and this slide in a nutshell shows what my PhD is about. I try to better understand the interaction between the wildlife and developing national parks, and we're using a large network of camera traps to study behavior of wildlife and their specific habitat preferences. But on the other end, we also try to monitor recreation by using, for example, social media and mobile phone data to really specifically monitor recreation on a spatial temporal level and to look in detail what the effects are of specific types of recreation and specific thresholds of recreation on the behavior of wildlife to, in the end, inform management and support management decisions in these local areas. So that's in a nutshell what I'm doing. Yeah, those are the two national parks which we are working in now. The right-hand side is our Kempen National Park, where we are located now, where the Field Research Center is also located. And the other one is in the other part of the country. The other one is in the other part of the country. That's a new national park.
Where they speak French. Okay, I think it's Sibe now.
Yeah. Hello everyone. I'm Sibe. I'm also a PhD student at the Hasselt. And I'm studying more the methodology of how to study the natural habitats. So first of all, we used camera traps, as Wim already explained, but now in my PhD, we're also going to include some biologgers to get individual traits and individual data. But of course, the biologger field, I would love to just advance the technology, so such as developing a smart biologger that is capable of connecting to low power networks to send their data, but also to non-invasively applicate these loggers to the animals so the animals don't change their behavior and don't have any hurt from it. And also to integrate the camera trap data together with the individual level biologger data to further on do more scientific research and complicated models.
Hi everyone, I'm Imke, who gets the title of my research towards better integration of multi-species interactions in wildlife management decision-making, which means that I'm focusing on decision-making tools which can be really helpful in informing which decisions might be good in your wildlife management. In your wildlife studies often focus on a single species only. And then my research, it is my goal to make these into a multi-species model that also takes into account the effects of management for one species on other species that live in the same area.
And then quickly, because those people are not here, I'm going to it's not only on wildlife camera traps or biologgers we're working, but it's also, well, it's also kind of biologgers, of course, with telemetry and GPS on birds, that is, in this case, the nightjar, where we really tried to explain the behavior within the national park or within the province of Limburg, actually. And also because it's a migratory bird and a solitary migratory bird who flies all the way to Africa. So we also investigate the migratory pathways and look for suitable, well, in function of, again, climate change, are the stopovers, the suitable areas that are now suitable still, will they still be suitable in the future? And another part on the right side of this slide is together with the Data Science Institute, where we actually work with citizen science. There are a lot of, well, let's say citizens here in our province that really are experts on, for instance, or the dog groups or birds, and they sample a lot of data, not always presence, absence, not what they're experts, but it's in an opportunistic way. So together with them, we investigate statistically also how you have to take those data into account to make proper projections, predictions, like we'd like to say. So we noticed, for instance, one example that the location of those volunteers is really important, and you need to adjust or weigh your statistical models towards that and take that into account, that you don't just say there are more observations here, because it's actually also correlated to where the volunteer lives. And another interesting one was also hotspots, so natural areas. They tend to give more data, but it's also because the volunteer finds them more interesting. And that is what we still do research on, and we're now expanding the groups that we're focusing on. And also with them, with those data and trends in time, so long-term monitoring again. No, this is too much. This is the group, so you can see several people are not here. And with that, I think we can finish. One thing that is maybe still, I didn't say it, it's still important, because we are a very small field research station, but as I said, by dividing our powers and efforts, we've reached about, within the last 7 years, we reached 17,000 people, external people, to explain in different ways about the research we're doing. And of course, to make them aware what the effects are of disturbance on the little nature there is still in our country. Voila. This is the end. I can stop sharing. Joe, you can take over.
I'm here.
Are there questions?
Thank you,
Should I say
Natalie. Can you guys hear me? Okay, great.
Yes.
Thank you for the presentation. It was lovely to listen to the work that you're doing and meet some of your students. Okay, so we are going to have 5 minutes for question for questions from the audience after each presentation. So I want to open it up for questions. If you have a question, please use the raise your hand icon in Zoom. If you go to React, you can raise your hand, or you can raise your hand also like Philip is doing. Philip, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm really curious, and it may be that this question will be answered later in the presentation, but I'm wondering at Hasselt, what about your research overlapped or produced a synergy with the other field stations that you visited? I mean, it's a really broad-based array of things, so I can imagine ways in which they overlap, but I'm just wondering from your perspective what you found most impressive or important.
Later on, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Later on, it will come in our presentation because we identified within the matching a search objective, a educational objective, and a mutual communication objective. So we will talk a little bit more soon about the research part. If you find that enough for now.
I'm patient.
Thank you. Do we have another question? I don't see. Let me just go ahead. Okay. Or questions in the chat also? Okay, let's see. Okay, looks like that was the one question we had. Okay. I think we're gonna now, oh, if you have, sorry, I thought I saw somebody raising their hand. Okay, never mind. If you have more questions for Natalie and her team, we're gonna have a few more minutes for questions at the very end of the presentation as well. All right, now is the turn for my station. I'll go ahead and just say something for 30 seconds and then I'm gonna give it to two of my staff members. Finca Las Piedras is a research station located in the southeastern Peruvian Amazon. You have met today 4 of our staff members. Some of them are in the field, so they're not here today, but we're also a small to medium size station, you'll say. It's between like 12 to 15 people, the ones that we work here between part-time and full-time staff. Of course, we have also like independent researchers that come to the station, and we work with students at different levels, elementary school, high school, college students as well. So I'll say that like on a yearly basis, the station will be receiving something between like 800 to like 1,200 people. So again, we're still a small station, but we have been working on a few things over this past almost 8 years that we have been running the station. I'm gonna let my team present now. They're gonna come to my computer. Again, the presentation is gonna be done in Spanish, so please go ahead and click the interpretation icon so that you can like listen to the presentation in English. So give me a second. I'm gonna also share the screen for our presentation. Okay. Okay. You see it, you hear it, we're good. Okay. I'm gonna give you the floor to Jason Vega, and he will be starting the presentation today.
Buenos días para todos.
Good day. Today, we will be presenting a bit of what we are doing in Finca Las Piedras. My name is Jason Vega. And I have also with me Jose Cueva. First of all, I would like to present a geographical context of the region where we are. We are in Peru, in the department of Madre de Dios, in el southeast of the Amazon area in Peru. We're about 50 kilometers from the city of Puerto Maldonado, and it was established in 2017 with some of the projects that we will be presenting. Today, we have 74 hectares in our area, in our station, 183 acres approximately, and particularly Finca Las Piedras is surrounded by several plots dedicated to cattle raising, extensive agriculture, and it's also bordering with the Castellana corridor. So in general, we're talking about, those are about 1,000 hectares dedicated to the collection of these products. These are forests that are not floodable, no matter what time of the year. This is because they are higher than the flood level of the rivers, and these conditions the types of species that we can find. For example, it is good for very tall trees and deep-rooted trees, such as the Brazil nuts, which is one of the trees that can reach 40, 50 meters. Also, I want to mention that there is another type of ecosystem that these are ecosystems that are dedicated to palm, and well, for us is aguaje. It's our local name. Here in Finca Las Piedras, we have three different axes of work. One is research, also reforesting, as well as education. And these are some of the projects for each of the areas. Particularly, I will be telling you about the first one, which is oriented towards Lepidoptera, which are, well, butterflies and moths, which are being researched, and Jose Cueva is going to be telling you also about it. First of all, this big project is how we're going, one of the biggest ones that we handle in Finca Las Piedras, and of course is for studying butterflies and moths. Within this project, we have several goals. One is to document the wide variety available in this region, and also to expand the distribution ranges of the species to determine their location, and also plans for conservation, as well as document and study their interaction with other organisms such as plants or predators. All this with the purpose of analyzing the impact towards climate change, as well as anthropogenic interactions. We have here a little more details about what we do. First, we grow larvae to document the life cycles of the species, and this is going to be the foundation for other studies, phylogenetic, ecological, as well as conservation studies. Also, we work on the observation of migration of a butterfly that you can see here. And this is the first record that we have of a migratory butterfly in the Amazon area. We also collect butterflies in different areas such as Madre de Dios and Cusco to document their distribution and determine if they are present in the region. And finally, we are also monitoring monthly the community using traps with fermented fruit to document changes in the community throughout the years. And our results in general, we have reported more than 1,000 host plants, raised more than 3,000 larvae and eggs, from which we've published around 20 different articles in index magazines, and also collecting adults and butterflies, more than 19,000 records, and more than 10,000 specimens that are being maintained by the collection of Finca Las Piedras. Also, for 5 years, we have monitored this migratory butterfly that I've been showing you.
Hola, mi nombre es José.
Hello, my name is Jose. I'm a naturalist here in Finca Las Piedras, and I will be telling you a little bit about the work of the naturalists. Our naturalists are mostly in charge of different activities and projects in the field station. These are some of the ones that are here. Green and white this is part of the work that we're doing in Finca Las Piedras. One of them is temperature in the team of precipitation. We are measuring rain daily, uploading it to the database in our Google Drive. This is very important information for all the studies, ongoing studies, and having all this information available for the persons that are working with this information in the field station. We also have phenology, which in this study allows us to collect data from the biological cycles of two of the important plants in the region, is the chestnuts as well as palmeras de aguaje. And the chestnuts are important because this is the only part in the country where we have these trees. And aguaje is also a very important plant, very important for the families in this region. The data that we have collected on the chestnuts is 24 trees in primary forest and also 12 in affected forests. The basic data is the percentage and color of the leaves, amount of fruit on the tree and on the floor, as well as flowers. And we also have the aguaje palm. In this plant, we have 10 males and 10 female plants, also looking at the flowers on the floor, number of percentage of fruit and number of flowers in the bouquets. And also part of the work that naturalists are doing are the biological inventories. This inventory that is being performed is used with trap chambers and other activities, as well as bird monitoring, night walks, creation of lists using IMAP, and this is part of the bird monitoring that is done once a week within a range of 1 kilometer around the area where we are implementing the recovery. We want to see the biodiversity of the species that are visiting this area throughout time, and these studies have allowed us to determine how many species have returned to these areas now that they have been restored and hadn't been here for about 5 years. We can see how they are coming back to the region. And also in relation with everything else we do in general, we have 441 species of birds that have been registered in Finca Las Piedras. Mammals and others, as I explained earlier, we have mammals registered with trap cameras, strategic places throughout the property, particularly in the swamps and little streams where there are trees with fruit, so we can determine the different species that are visiting these areas. We have 51 species of mammals, among them jaguar, puma. Very strange one is a wild dog in this area. It's very common for us in the Amazon area. And including this, there are a series of mammals, as I explained earlier, reptiles, amphibians, also plants. We have 3,448 species in Finca Las Piedras, and we're also working intensely on these bird guides, which are field guides for the use of the field station as well as for the public. We also have reforesting. This activity is focused on the seeds of wood-producing trees. We are focused mainly on what's more important for us is the chestnut, since this is a very important tree in the region. We collect the seeds, we bring them to our greenhouse where we process the seeds so we can plant them later. We also have the project with the local families to teach them how to do their own reforesting projects in their own lands. We show them how to work with certain seeds, particularly the chestnuts, so they can do their own reforesting. We have contributed with about 1,800 chestnut plants, about 400 plants every year. And also with Finca Las Piedras, the range of 74 hectares, 55 are primary forest and 19 are reforested areas. So far, we have been able to recover 70% of the deforested areas. And we have incorporated these areas, and we're working with deforestation also. And finally, we're working with environmental education with urban and rural schools, prioritizing the ones that are closest to us, the rural schools that are around us. And with different experiences, we've been approaching the young people, the children, and the adolescents, offering them options to learn about science, visiting the station with exchange programs and researchers also that come and work here with us. We also have a few other programs for university studies, students as well as foreigners. Basically, this is what I have for you at this moment. This is a QR that will connect you to our social network where you're going to be able to find more information about the type of work that we're doing. Everything else is on our website also.
Hi again, everybody. Couple of things before we go to the questions from the audience. We are also very excited because starting last year, we implemented a molecular lab. So we have now a lab processing DNA samples for our Lepidoptera project, which is our most important research project in the area. And also, Finca Las Piedras, it's relatively small in size, but we have access to 1 million hectares of Brazilian forest. And so our trail network includes trails outside the station, and in like other forests for which we have permission to use, of course. So those are the only two things that I wanted to add. Okay, so now if there are questions from the audience, we have a few minutes for questions about Finca Las Piedras, and then we're going to move to gold. Again, if you have questions, you can just raise your hand like that, or you can use the icon to raise your hand. Let me just go ahead and see. Oh, hi, Rhonda. I just saw you. Okay. Looks like no questions for the moment. Okay. Okay. Looks like all the questions are going to go at the end. Alrighty. Let's now move to gold. And you guys are up. We can't hear you guys.
Can you hear us now?
Yes, perfectly.
Perfect. We're just setting up the shared screen. Okay, I start. I'm filling in for Frederic. Do you see the screen? Yes? Okay. Perfect. So Galt is a typical field station. It's located in Canada, Quebec, near Montreal. We're about 40 minutes from the downtown campus, McGill, in a beautiful setting. We're a hill. So we do have a lot of research activities like all field stations have. This year we had a record year. We had 45 research projects covering various topics such as freshwater, invasive species, We had two robots, one on the water, sampling automatically, and one on land, kind of a rover that is super cool. And typically we have people from biology and geography, but now we're seeing more people from engineering using the reserve. Obviously, the white-tailed deer population, there's an overpopulation. This is also a topic that we cover quite extensively. Lyme disease and many others. We've been granted or gifted a new lab that was inaugurated in 2022. So this new research infrastructure really helps us in providing to our users state-of-the-art laboratories. We have weather stations, research docks, and most importantly, with plots that go back to 1990. Right now in the laboratory, we have NASA and the Imperial College looking at weather patterns. So typically in Quebec and in our situation, we'll have the most dense field season from May to October. That's where we have a lot of research activities. In winter, it dies off, but we're seeing more activity in the winter with this project looking at weather patterns. Obviously, we're also a place for McGill courses, but we are very diverse. We have many other universities mostly from Quebec using the reserve. Again, this year was a record year. We had, I believe, 18 field courses, mostly from McGill, but also other universities based in Quebec, like Université du Québec à Montréal, l'Université Laval, Guelph, other Queens, and Concordia. So a lot of different activities. I don't know if we'll touch on it. Peux-tu parler des visiteurs?
Oui, je connais pas les prochaines slides d'elle. Fait que oui, si tu m'en parlais.
One of our particularities at Galt is we're so close to Montreal is that we welcome about 300,000 visitors a year. And that's really where we are different from typical field stations. We have 10 to 12, so here you go. So you see the reserve, how it's designed. On the right-hand side, the gray side, this is our preservation sector. It's mostly used for conservation. On the left-hand side, that's our trail network. It's open 365 days a year. And there's 25 kilometers of hiking trail. So that's where we get our 250 or to 300,000 visitors annually. So it's very popular. It's very interesting to us to have this link with the community, with the population, to have them understand the importance of nature, but also understand the importance of science. We are a field station and we identify as a field station. Okay, so that's it for me. I can't see you, but are there any questions? Yeah, bonjour Philippe. I think I see you here. So
yeah, just a quick question. Given the number of visitors you have, how much of a problem do you have with its impacting research science or educational and research activities?
that's a great question. We have a fantastic crew, as you can see here. They're really hardworking and really engaged with our mission and our community. I'd say it's quite minimal, you know. They're more of an ally and typically don't get my numbers sure, but I'd say 95 to 99% of the visitors are good people. They're they want to protect nature. Of course, you hear a lot about the 1% or the 5% that cause problems, but we have a crew, we have a system, and I'd say that we developed so many protocols and so many systems to monitor and engage with the community that it's going very well. You might
Clearly,
not...
Canadians are way nicer than Americans.
Oh, I disagree.
There you go. We won't start on that debate. Another topic for a virtual cafe. And yet, yes, Paul.
Yeah, it's just, so what are these 300,000 people doing? I mean, are they mostly hiking? It's kind of passive recreation. That's what
Yeah, hiking, bird watching, cross-country skiing when we have snow. That's a typical activities. We have a lot of school groups as well that visits, which is great for training the next generation of scientists and engaging them with nature and science. But I like to think that we're an education center for all.
David,
Yes.
another question. So on that area that is used called the preservation or to preserve,
Yeah.
so is there access for researchers? Are there trails that we're not seeing in there that is just for them? How do they access there?
I wouldn't say trails because I have my own definition of trails. Trails is a path that is marked and maintained. So if you use that definition, it's not a trails. Are there ways to get around? Of course. But I like to think of it, and for those with a scientist mind, you saw that the whole reserve is for research and teaching, and the public sector is for the community, let's say. But you see the difference, right? A control and a treatment, right? The science mind. And if you look at the bird population, it's different. If you look at the plant population, it's slightly different. So it's very interesting to see the evolution. And I guess, and I don't there'll probably be more questions, but it's interesting to see with Natalie's group as well, what are the consequences of human usage in nature.
Awesome, thank you.
Other questions? Should we go to talk about the matching program?
Yeah, we're going to talk about the yellow program.
All right. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
Good. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
David. And now we're going to talk about the matching program. Let me go ahead and the next slides we are sharing between Natalie, Martin, and me. And I think the very first one to go is going to be Martin.
Yeah.
So yes. Well, the matching program, it's a program that started a few years ago. I think that we are one of the first groups selected for this program. And it's been an opportunity to share what we do with our colleagues from other stations. Each group had the chance to establish their own goals for the program, and we decided to have the following goals. We have a goal related to science and research. We have a goal related to education, one goal about communications, and one thing that we did also to be able to cover all the things that we wanted to cover was to have exchange visits. So I'm going to let Martin tell us all about those.
Yeah, so
whenever you're ready for me to switch slides, Martin, just let me know.
Yeah, okay, that's great. Thank you, Joe. So I'm excited to share insight into a key aspect of our program, the value of in-person visit to research station. We had two impactful exchange, one at Galt Nature Reserve in Quebec, Canada in August 2022, like you see the picture here, and the other one at Finca Las Piedras in Peru last September. These experiences highlight how in-person visits foster growth collaboration, making them indispensable to any successful matching program. In August 2022, Natalie and Joe visit us at Galt Nature Reserve in Quebec. How can we build a strong matching program without meeting in person? I think it's impossible. The bonds we created over just a few short days were instrumental in energizing our exchanges and, most importantly, maintaining our connection, something that is challenging to achieve through virtual meeting alone. So really having the chance to be together was a really major impact. I think stepping out of our usual routine often leads to fresh ideas and new ways of thinking. These moments of face-to-face interaction laid the foundation for dynamic collaboration and gave us the chance to brainstorm in ways that wouldn't have been possible otherwise. So you can go to the next slide. So we have a few pictures of Peru, I think. Yeah, go to the other one. So because I think we know where Canada is. Our friends from the United States, you know, we're up north. So now this is picture from Peru last September. So 2 years later, in September 2024, we reunited in Peru at Finca Las Piedras. For the Belgian and Canadians, the tropical heat was a contrast that were to what we're used to. But what a transformative experience it was, seeing the rainforest firsthand and exchanging perspective on our very different realities remind us of our shared mission to deepen our understanding of the living world and share that knowledge with the surrounding communities. The connection we build through these exchanges goes far beyond the program itself. They've created lasting relationships that will endure for years to come. Thanks to the OBFS matching program, we have the privilege of sharing knowledge, experiences, and culture in a way that truly enriches us all. So in conclusion, in-person visits are not just an added bonus, but they are essential. They spark creativity, strengthen collaboration, and build the kind of relationship that stand the test of time. These exchanges have shown us that by stepping out of our routine and embracing new perspectives, we can truly grow together. So I think it's really the key of the matching program, and we're really embracing the program from OBFS about that. That's it for the exchange. We didn't have time to go to Belgium, but maybe in the future, in another future. Nathalie?
Thank you, Martin. And that's where Finca Las Fieras is located, in case you're wondering. This is Peru, this is Brazil, and this is Bolivia. Okay, now we're going to move through our research goal. And for that, I'm going to let Nathalie present it. Also, Nathalie, let me know when to switch slides, please.
As we said, the matching program is really interesting for us because, of course, it wasn't a research program that we had to develop or a communication one, but we still opted with the small time we can invest and the rather small budget to go for 3 goals that we could see, and that was a good question, Philippe, the overarching interests of our research stations, because we are there, as you might have noticed after the 3 presentations, they're really different in size, in maybe the priorities of the, but still there is also a lot in common. They're all 3 in in or near a protected area, but within a very urbanized area. So there is a lot of disturbance. And we all agree also that our sites are really into, or find it important to have long-term monitoring. And so then we started thinking, okay, what is the expertise we already have? And somehow we immediately ended up, okay, camera traps. Gold already did some research before. I think that Pierre was really interested in it. And we said, okay, what's the budget we have? Why don't we try to buy some cameras? And then there are tools, and then how to do monitoring of wildlife. But as you can imagine, the wildlife here is mostly abundant wildlife, like roe deer, which have an impact on nature with the rejuvenation, or with wild boar. But in Peru, of course, they have hunters, and they would be more interested in the endangered species or the top predators. So we said, okay, what can we have mutual? Well, we're all interested in mammal diversity. So if we look for instance, 5 different habitats, which all of our field research stations could provide, we hang the cameras according to the protocol. Could we say something about the diversity? How much of the potential diversity you gather within 1 year, about the dispersal of your animals, and about abundances. And then we also decided, okay, there might be protocols, but for instance, in Canada, there are different season challenges they have. The snow, if we say for the same wildlife, the protocol is you have to hang the camera at 50 centimeters. Well, in Canada, they have to follow the snow because otherwise, they would only have snow during it. So we are now trying to see how we can still find mutual standardization within this project. And it's still running, so we don't have results yet, but we're all very, eager to see and how far we can get. And also, what was also maybe important, which is on this slide, we're doing it via a platform that is called Wildlife Insights. We are using for our own research at the moment a different one, but it is it's a private one. So you have to be a member of it. While Wildlife Insights, it is open access. You have to, of course, become a member, but it's not payable. So we're also exploring how on this platform, how we can make one big project, or big is a big word, one pilot project out of that, if we can go across continents even. Joe, you can go to the next slide. I don't even know what is on the... Okay, now. That is for the research goal of our matching program. What I thought I could say within 5 minutes.
Thank you, Natalie. Okay, so we're gonna move to the communication goal. Martin, do you want to do this one over, or do you want me to cover that one?
Yeah, can you cover this for us, please?
I can't hear you.
Can you do it, please, Joe?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I said go ahead, Joe, if you want to present
Okay.
the yeah, please.
Okay. Initially, it was going to be Fred. That's why I was asking. Okay, so I think in that case, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the next goal, and then I'm gonna do education, and then I'm gonna do communication because I think it makes more sense. So one of the things that we also realize that our stations do, all of them, we have different kinds of educational programs, and educational initiatives. So the first thing we did was to share what each station was doing. And then we realized that by sharing, we were finding not only elements that we had in common, but we're also finding best practices and things that have worked for us. After some time of trial and error, each station realized what was working best for them. And then we started looking at things that all those best practices had in common. So we thought, this exchange has been very interesting. It's been very important. It has given us insights from other stations that we can use in our stations. And it has given us ideas of what to do next. So why don't we put all that information together and we create a document where all that is available for other stations at OBFS as well. And so we created what we call the Outreach and Education in Field Stations document. This document is in no way a manual or the holy grail of like education programs, but it's more an opportunity for us to share with other stations what has worked for us. And why those things have worked for us. We finished this document last year when everybody was here at my station in Peru, and Martin presented it in the OBFS meeting last year. You can see it, like it's finalized, and like you can see it in this link. But I'm very briefly going to share that with you. I'm not going to cover the whole thing. I'm just going to go to, this is the document, and this is a table of contents. And you can see very briefly that we cover like many things. We talked about the importance.
Joe, we don't see it. We still see the educational.
Oh, you don't see it? Oh, okay. Let me go ahead and share again. Is it working now? Yes? Yes, okay. So as you can see, we have covered many areas. We talk about the importance of aligning your educational strategies with institutional goals. We talk about the importance of defining target audiences, and this was a very interesting conversation because it included cultural considerations for each station. Of course, we talked about the experiences themselves and the importance of creating significant learning experiences and how each station can do that with the resources that are available. But also trying to also give examples to other stations that might not necessarily have like a person in charge of educational initiatives or might not have the budget to run a big educational program. And what can you do? And for us, it was also very important to talk about monitoring and evaluating your experience, why it is important to do it, and what you gain from it. We also included a few resources that we have created directly, but also like all the resources that we found useful. So I am gonna go back to the main presentation. If you want to take a look at that manual again, it's available for everybody that want to read it. Maybe for this, Martin or Natalie can help me. I don't know if it's already shared in the OBFS website, but
I just put the link in the chat.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Philip. And the last thing I'm going to mention is the communications goal. So as you can see, we have been working on things related to education and things related to research, and of course the value of like meeting each other and like sharing in these site visits. So we wanted to have a final goal related to communicating this, not only to like our own audiences, so like people that are following what we do as stations, but also to everybody else that wants to learn. And so part of our communication goal was to have a space within our websites and social media channels to communicate what we do, to share like materials that we have created, like this one. And today's session it's part of that. We realize that even though it's being like Martin and Fred at Gold, Natalie at Hasselt, and me in my station, we wanted everybody else at our stations to learn about like the importance of this program and how this program has had an impact in what we do. And of course, it's even better that we've had the chance to share with other OBFS members. So I'm going to leave it at that. And well, of course, we thank you OBFS for this amazing opportunity. This is going to be so far the last year of the program. And we still need to like finalize a few things, especially on the research side. But we're very excited for like what so far has been possible to do. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing now, and I now we're gonna open up the room for questions if you have them. Again, raise your hands, use the icon, or type your question in the chat section, whatever you want to do. Philippe?
So I put the question in the chat, but I'm really curious in the visits, were there sort of management or practical strategies or lessons you learned that translated over to your own particular field station site? I'm just curious to get a sense. You touched on it a little bit in a presentation. I got the sense that it really helped you think outside the box, but I'd be really interested in knowing if there are any specific examples that you can relate to that. And then before you answer, I just want to say, for those of you who haven't seen the presentation that occurred at OBFS, it's posted on the website, and it really is an inspiring session on what cross-station visits can do for you. So just want to put a plug in for that.
Thank you. I know that this is a question for the three of us, so I'm just going to go with the first thing that occurs to me. So, for instance, Gold, in terms of education, Gold has this. Oh my God, I'm losing the name in English. It's kind of a game. You hunt for, how do you call that?
Scavenger. It's like
Yes, that one. The
scavenger.
scavengers game. Yeah, the
Like
scavengers hunt. Yes, that's the one. So I remember when they were talking about that. Of course, that was like, oh, this is something that like we could also do. Of course, like changing the animals and plants and stuff. But like this is something that we could do. That's a kind of a specific example of one activity. But I think for me, the most important thing, especially when we were talking about education, was to realize the common themes, like when we're talking about the importance of targeting or the importance of identifying your audience, being aware of their specific characteristics, putting it out there, and also sharing that information with all your team before implementing your activities, for instance. That was for me very important. And one of the things that we realized was like, sometimes like one person in your team will know what you're talking about, but everybody else, you will assume that they know also, and they don't. So there are some things that you do need to just like put on paper, but also you need to talk about those things and the importance of involving people with those initiatives. And not only the people that are directly working on those initiatives. We were also thinking, there are some stations, small stations, that might not have the budget to hire a person that leads the educational initiatives, but you can still like do something if you're interested in doing something. What can we tell those stations? What can we share with those stations that can be useful for them? And so we included a few things that we think could be like interesting, in order for them to do something that is feasible, but that is also like well done. And that's why we talk about the importance of evaluation, the importance of identifying your audience, and just giving like a few ideas of like what or how you can like do things. I'm gonna leave it at that for Natalie and Martin to share.
Well,
Since you said Natalie first, okay, Martin, you want to go first? You can.
No, well, yeah, my comment would be to Philip would be like, I think having the camera trap project was a great opportunity for us because having our own project of camera trap and all the protocol that Natalie in Belgium, you developed a lot with the trails and the people on trails and all the protocol with the database that we could put all the pictures. I think that's a plus value for us at Go. Yeah.
For me, it was, well, first of all, I think I told you many times already that to see, because we're a very small station, we don't have accommodation, to see that even big stations with bigger, bigger budgets still have somehow the same challenges than we have. That's also something I learned. So it makes you, well, relatively more. And then something I really learned from you, both the other stations, which I'm really proud of, and my guys always say it too, it is, for instance, communication in social media and being out there. I'm really bad at that as a person, but also, yeah, for the field station then. So they are pushing me, and I'm very proud and will share it with you that they just yesterday, was it yesterday? They made a small Instagram movie of our field work the other week. So I'm going to share it with you. And that's something I really learned from, well, from you guys, but these young guys are also pushing me. So I have it from both sides. Thanks. I found it a great opportunity and I'm really sad it's finished almost. But it's like Marta said, I think it's friendships for life. And maybe also collaborations for life, because the guys already said, we would really like to come to Gold and show us our expertise to you.
Yeah. Also, what I can add also, it's like giving tips to the new matching program people who wants to match. I think we need to be realistic into the objectives, because the challenge we had was like really like meeting only on Zoom, and it's not so easy. So I was talking about the really like visit on site. That's what's so productive to everyone. So I think we need to size down maybe sometimes the objective, but be able to achieve the goal, instead of thinking so big and you do nothing. So I think that was of my recommendation for the other teams who want to success. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I agree. The friendship has been a very important result of this program. More questions.
Wait, are we going to see the Instagram?
Oh, we can't.
Natalie. Sorry. No. I didn't know if they were.
Let's go ahead. Paul?
No, I was just wondering. Natalie said she was going to show us the Instagram little communication from your team. They made a little program to put out on Instagram. It's not that important. It's okay.
Yeah, but maybe I'm just asking them now. Otherwise, I would need the
Center for Sciences, we hustled. I will put it in the chat.
Paul, also we have a newsletter at Gold, and we share about the matching program. So we can put the link also in the chat.
Oh, that would be good. Yeah.
So to show you that we work,
Well, that's what occurred to me. I thought maybe the students did this on purpose, just because they wanted to make sure that Natalie knew that they were doing something out there. But yeah.
Guys, I just want to be mindful of time. We're in the last 5 minutes of the call. I know that some people are leaving already, and I just want to say thank you for everybody that has participated, and for the ones that are leaving or like, thank you. Thank you, guys. Natalie, you're going to be posting that? Yes. Okay, great. If you don't...
So it's on Instagram, and you just go for or Center for Environmental Sciences, or you do CMK_UHasselt. And then it's the last post we have. Let's see.
Can you repeat that, Natalie? Center for
Environmental Sciences, or you go to CMK underscore U Hasselt. So U
Hasselt. Mm-hmm.
I put it in the chat.
Okay.
And make sure to put the sound on.
There is some music.
Yes. Center for Environmental Science, UHustle. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna give it back to David in case he wants to say something, but it has been all from me.
Thank you. As you saw or will see in the next newsletter or on the listserv and on the Facebook page, we are opening up the matching program. I forgot to say I'm the chair of the international committee, so we'll be selecting new matching programs. So if ever you're interested, I think the Yellow Group is doing a fantastic job in building relations, but also moving the mission of OBFS and each field station, because we're a member-based organization. It's really up to us and to you to develop these programs. So I invite you to, if you're interested, to apply. It will be in the newsletter, in the Facebook page, and on the listserv. If ever you're not a member of the Facebook page, consider registering and liking. I think it's really inspiring to see the all of the work that has been done by the Yellow Group. Maybe I think they'll be present at Rumble to give you even more information and what they'll be doing on the camera truck project and other initiatives in this year's annual meeting in September, I believe. So thank you all, and look to see you soon at the next virtual cafe. Remember also, there's a lot of information on the website in events on all of the next events that are happening. Merci beaucoup. Gracias. Take care. Bye-bye.
It's now in the group chat. I was doing it all the time to Felipe.
Bye, guys. Bye-bye. Bye, Nathalie.
Bye,
Nathalie. Nice to
Bye.
meet you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you soon.